When you think of the Philippines, what comes to mind? Maybe it's the white sand beaches, crystal clear waters, or perhaps a bustling city like Manila. But beyond these images lies a country that's often misunderstood. From misconceptions about its safety to its rich cultural tapestry, many people around the world get the Philippines wrong. In this video, we'll dive into some of the biggest myths surrounding the Philippines and reveal the truths that make this Southeast Asian nation so much more than meets the eye. Ready to discover the real Philippines? Let's get started. The Philippines is just beaches and islands. When people picture the Philippines, they often envision its world-renowned beaches and islands. And yes, the country boasts over 7,000 islands, each offering spectacular scenery. But to say the Philippines is only about beaches and tropical getaways is to miss the broader picture. The Philippines is a diverse country with bustling urban centers, historic sites, and a flourishing economy. Manila, the capital, is a cosmopolitan city that serves as a major hub in Southeast Asia, with industries ranging from finance to technology. Cebu, another major city, balances its historic Spanish influences with modern infrastructure and a rapidly growing tech sector. In the north, you'll find the Banao Rice Terraces, a UNESCO World Heritage Site showing that the country's beauty extends far beyond its shores. And let's not forget the vast jungles, mountains, and volcanoes scattered throughout the archipelago. In short, the Philippines is as diverse as it is beautiful. Fun fact: did you know the Philippines is the world's second largest archipelago, just behind Indonesia? And yet, many of its islands remain unexplored by tourists. From white sand shores to vibrant cities, the Philippines is more than just a beach lover's paradise. But what about its reputation for safety? Let's dive into the next misconception. The Philippines is always dangerous. This misconception stems from selective news coverage that often highlights conflict in parts of Mindanao, a region in the southern Philippines. While it's true that certain areas in Mindanao have experienced unrest, most of the Philippines is incredibly safe for tourists and locals alike. Cities such as Manila, Cebu, and Davao are vibrant, modern metropolises that welcome millions of visitors each year. Moreover, the government takes extensive measures to ensure the safety of tourists, particularly in popular destinations like Palawan, Boracay, and Siargao. These areas are not just beautiful but also well monitored by local authorities, making them safe vacation spots. Travelers who avoid the Philippines because they think it's dangerous are missing out on what the country truly has to offer. While every country has its safety considerations, the Philippines is no more dangerous than many popular tourist destinations worldwide. Fun fact: Davao City, one of the largest cities in the Philippines, consistently ranks as one of the safest cities in Southeast Asia. So, while safety may not be an issue for the majority of the country, what about its economic situation? Let's dispel the next big misconception. The Philippines is a poor country. It's easy to focus on poverty when thinking of the Philippines, especially if you see only specific areas of the country. However, painting the entire country as poor is far from accurate. The Philippines is a middle-income nation with one of the fastest-growing economies in Asia, driven by industries such as business process outsourcing, BPO, manufacturing, and remittances from overseas Filipino workers. Major cities like Manila and Cebu are hubs of economic activity, with skyscrapers, tech parks, and multinational corporations setting up shop. The country's middle class is growing rapidly, and infrastructure projects are transforming both urban and rural landscapes. While income inequality remains a challenge, the Philippine economy is on an upward trajectory. Fun fact: the Philippines is one of the largest suppliers of BPO services globally, with over 1.2 million people employed in the industry. From a growing economy to linguistic diversity, the Philippines is full of surprises. Speaking of surprises, let's clear up the next big myth: language. Filipinos speak only Tagalog. When people think of the Philippines, they often assume the entire population speaks only Tagalog. While Tagalog, also known as Filipino, is one of the country's official languages, the linguistic diversity in the Philippines is staggering. The country is home to over 120 languages and dialects, including Cebuano, Ilocano, Waray, and Kapampangan, to name just a few. What's more, English is an official language in the Philippines and is widely spoken across the country, especially in urban centers. Schools use English as a primary medium of instruction, and the business world operates predominantly in English. This makes the Philippines one of the most linguistically versatile nations in Asia. Fun fact: the Philippines is ranked as one of the top countries in the world for English proficiency, consistently outscoring many other non-native English-speaking nations. With so many languages, the Philippines is a melting pot of culture and communication. But let's address another common misconception about religion. Everyone in the Philippines is Catholic. It's true that the Philippines is predominantly Catholic. About 80% of the population identifies with the Roman Catholic Church, making it the largest Christian nation in Asia. However, the country's religious landscape is much more diverse than most people realize. In Mindanao, particularly in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, Islam is the dominant religion. The country is also home to various Protestant denominations, the Iglesia ni Cristo, and indigenous religious communities. This mix of faiths has contributed to the Philippines' rich cultural diversity, fostering an environment of religious tolerance. Fun fact: the Philippines celebrates over 100 different festivals throughout the year, many of which are tied to religious and cultural traditions unique to each region. From faith to food, the Philippines offers a blend of diversity. But does everyone eat the same thing? Let's bust the next big myth about Filipino cuisine. Filipinos eat only rice and fish. Filipino food is often reduced to images of simple rice and fish dishes. But in reality, Filipino cuisine is a rich fusion of different cultures, blending indigenous flavors with Spanish, Chinese, Malay, and American influences. Dishes like adobo, sinigang, lechon, and pancit show the variety and depth of the country's food culture. Every region in the Philippines offers its own unique take on food, from the Bicol region's love for spicy coconut-based dishes to Cebu's famous lechon. Filipino food is also known for its bold and flavorful sauces, marinades, and the creative use of tropical ingredients like coconut, tamarind, and mango. Fun fact: Filipino cuisine has been gaining international recognition, with dishes like sisig and lechon featured in top global food lists and praised by chefs like Anthony Bourdain. Filipino food is a burst of flavor and culture, but there's another misconception we need to address. How does the Philippines compare to its Southeast Asian neighbors? Let's explore. The Philippines is just like other Southeast Asian countries. While the Philippines shares geographic proximity with Southeast Asian nations like Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia, its cultural identity is distinctly different. Due to over 300 years of Spanish colonization and nearly 50 years under American rule, the Philippines has absorbed a unique blend of Western and Eastern influences. Unlike its predominantly Buddhist and Muslim neighbors, the Philippines is predominantly Catholic. Its legal system, government structure, and educational framework are heavily influenced by the United States. Even Filipino surnames, traditions, and festivals carry a strong Spanish imprint. This mix of cultural influences sets the Philippines apart, giving it a distinct flavor compared to the rest of Southeast Asia. Fun fact: the Philippines is the only predominantly Christian country in Southeast Asia, and it has the third largest Catholic population in the world, after Brazil and Mexico. The Philippines stands out for its unique culture. But what about migration? Let's tackle the next misconception. All Filipinos want to leave the country. The Philippines is known for its large diaspora, with around 10 million Filipinos working or living abroad. This has led to the misconception that all Filipinos aspire to leave the country. While it's true that many Filipinos work overseas to support their families, a significant number of Filipinos remain in the Philippines and are deeply committed to the nation's development. The rise of remote work has also allowed more Filipinos to work for foreign companies without having to leave their homeland. Additionally, many overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, return home to retire, invest, or start businesses, demonstrating their enduring connection to the Philippines. Fun fact: the Philippines is the world's largest exporter of nurses, with Filipino healthcare professionals working in hospitals across the globe. Whether at home or abroad, Filipinos maintain a strong sense of pride in their country. But there's one more misconception to address. Let's talk about China and the Philippines. The Philippines is part of China. This misconception arises largely due to ongoing territorial disputes between the Philippines and China, particularly in the South China Sea. Some people mistakenly believe that China has significant control over the Philippines, but this is far from the truth. The Philippines is a sovereign nation with its own government, constitution, and military. In 2016, the Philippines won a significant legal battle against China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, which ruled that China's expansive claims in the South China Sea were invalid. Despite ongoing tensions, the Philippines maintains strong diplomatic relations with other nations, including the United States, Japan, and European countries. Fun fact: the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ, covers approximately 2.2 million square kilometers, one of the largest in the world. From sovereignty disputes to strong international relations, the Philippines knows how to stand its ground. Now let's recap the real essence of this amazing country. Breaking misconceptions, embracing reality. The Philippines is much more than a collection of islands or a misunderstood nation. It's a country rich in culture, history, and diversity, with a rapidly growing economy and a people who are proud of their heritage. By breaking down these misconceptions, we can better appreciate the real Philippines, a vibrant, dynamic nation that stands strong in the global arena.